morning class for students. Today we are going to study a poem, The Elephant and the Child. It is a beautiful poem and a very good story is there in it. Let us see that story. Let us go through the poem. The Elephant and the Child. The arching trees above a path had formed a pleasant shade, and here to screen him while he slept, an infant boy was laid. In the figure, you can see two trees, bent to bending trees, that is called arching trees. The arching trees above a path had formed a pleasant shade. So when we walk through the sunny day, we may feel that to get some shade. So these trees provide beautiful shade, pleasant shade. The arching trees above a path had formed a pleasant shade, and here to screen him, screen means protect, to protect the child. You can see one child on the ground, and here to screen him while he slept, an infant boy was laid. You can see one infant boy was laying or sleeping on the ground. To protect him, these trees gave shade him. These trees gave shade to him, and so he could sleep well without thinking anything, without crying, without getting any harm. He could sleep well because of the arching trees. The arching trees above a path had formed a pleasant shade, and here to screen him while he slept, an infant boy was laid. In the picture, you can see one infant boy and two trees. You can see these trees gave pleasant shade to him, and so he could sleep well, and he got protected under the trees. His mother near him gathered fruit, but soon with fear she cried. For slowly moving down the path, the elephant she spied. His mother was there near him. What she was doing? She was gathering or collecting fruits. His mother near him gathered fruit. The mother kept the sleeping child on the ground under the trees, and mother started to collect fruits. But soon with fear she cried. Why she cried? Very soon she was collecting fruits, but very soon she cried with fear. Why she cried with fear? Because an elephant was coming down near her child, near her boy. His mother near him gathered fruit, but soon with fear she cried. For slowly moving down the path, the elephant she spied. She noticed, she saw one elephant was coming near her child. So she cried with fear. She thought that her son would be crushed to death under the feet of the elephant, because the elephant was so powerful. She believed that elephant was so powerful. She thought that the elephant would kill the child. So she cried with fear. The sticks he crushed beneath his feet had waked the sleeping child, who pushed aside the waving curls and looked at him and smiled. The sticks he crushed when the elephant was coming near him. The elephant crushed all the sticks under his feet. All the sticks he crushed, all the bushes he crushed when he was walking, because elephant was so mighty animal and very big animal, and so all the sticks crushed. Because of that sticks crushing sound, the sleeping child waked up. The sticks he crushed beneath his feet had waked the sleeping child. Because of the sound, because of the sticks crushing sound, the sleeping child waked up, who pushed aside the waving curls. After waking up, the child just kept his waving curls or hair. We can say that actually that's hair. That means twisted hair aside he kept, and looked at elephant and smiled. The sticks he crushed. Who crushed? Elephant crushed. The sticks elephant crushed. The sticks he crushed beneath his feet. and had waked the sleeping child, who pushed aside the waving curls. Waving curls means twisted hair. Who pushed the baby? The child just kept his waving curls aside and looked at him. At whom? At the elephant. He looked at the elephant and smiled because he had no worry, he had no tension, no fear. Why? Because he was a child, he was not able to understand the size, power, and elephant would. He was never bothered about his death, because the child was so small and he was so happy to see such a beautiful big animal, and that's why he looked at him and smiled. He had no fear, he had no worry, no tension, because he never bothered about the power of the elephant. He was never bothered about the size of the elephant, and he never thought that he would be crushed to death, and that's why he was not at all worry, he had not at all tension. He was so happy to see that animal and he smiled. The sticks he crushed beneath his feet had waked the sleeping child, who pushed aside the waving curls and looked at him and smiled. The mother could not reach the spot. With fear she held her breath, and there in agony she stood to see him crushed to death. The mother thought that her son would be crushed to death under the feet of the elephant, because mother knew the size of the elephant, and mother know the elephant is so powerful. The mother could not reach the spot. Because of the fear, mother could not reach near by her son. And she hid behind a bush, and she held her breath with fear. Stopped for a while, her breath stopped for a while with fear. She thought that her son would be crushed to death under the feet of the elephant, and in extreme pain, extreme sorrow, she stood there. And there in agony she stood, agony, extreme pain in heart. And there in agony she stood to see him crushed to death. She thought that her son would be crushed to death. To see that, she was not able to see that. She felt extreme pain in her heart. She thought that the elephant would kill the child. The child would be crushed to death. The mother could not reach the spot to save her child. With fear, she held her breath for a while, and she stood there with extreme pain. She thought that her son would be crushed to death. The mother could not reach the spot. With fear she held her breath, and there in agony she stood to see him crushed to death. The heavy food the monster held away above the boy, who laughed to see it moving there and clapped his hands with joy. The heavy food the monster, mighty and powerful, frightening animal, elephant here. The heavy food the monster held. We know elephant, its feet, it's very, very big, very powerful, very weighty. The heavy food the monster held away above the boy. For a short time, the foot of the elephant was on the boy, just above the boy, not on the boy, just above the boy. The heavy foot the monster held away above the boy, who laughed to see it moving there, but did not, even though the elephant's foot was above the boy, but without touching on the child, elephant just passed over him, who laughed to see it moving there. The boy was never bothered about the death, and he never thought that the elephant is so dangerous for him, and so he was so happy to see that elephant. He laughed to see it moving there. The boy laughed to see the moving elephant, and clapped his hands with joy. When the elephant just crossed over him, he clapped his hands with joy, because the boy never knew anything about the size. He was never bothered about the size. He was not never bothered about the danger. He was never bothered about that means the mighty elephant. And so he was so happy to see the elephant. He clapped his hands with joy. The heavy food the monster held away above the boy, who laughed to see it moving there and clapped his hands with joy. The mother saw it reach the ground beyond her infant son and watched till every foot was safe across the little one. The mother saw it reach the ground. The mother saw the elephant reach near her son, beyond her infant son. She thought that her son would be crushed to death. She stood there with extreme pain in her heart to see her son would be crushed to death. The mother saw it reach the ground. The mother saw elephant reach near the ground, reached near her son, and watched till every foot was safe. And she watched every foot of the elephant was safe across the little one. When the elephant was passing, when the elephant was moving over her son, she watched every step of the elephant, and she understood the step of the elephant was safe across the little one. And she knew her child was so safe because elephant did not harm her son. The mother saw it reach the ground beyond her infant son and watched till every foot was safe across the little one. She knew, she saw the every step, she saw every step of the elephant, and she understood that her son was so safe without any harm. Her son laid on the ground. Elephant just crossed her son. She caught the infant from the ground, for there unharmed he lay, and could have thanked the noble heart who slowly walked away. When elephant just moved away from there, she reached immediately on the ground and took her son from the ground. She caught the infant from the ground, for there unharmed he lay. When she reached near her son was laying on the ground without any harm, because elephant, even though passed, elephant just crossed the boy, but did not step on the boy. Elephant did not do anything on the boy, it did not create any harm to the boy, and the boy laid on the ground without any harm. She caught the infant from the ground, for there unharmed he lay, and could have thanked the noble heart who slowly walked away. The mother just looked at the elephant and thanked to the elephant. The noble heart of the elephant, thanked to the noble heart of the elephant. And the mother and could have thanked the noble heart who slowly walked away. Elephant slowly walked away. She caught the infant from the ground, for there unharmed he lay, and could have thanked the noble heart who slowly walked away. In mind, she said thanks to the elephant for not harming to her son. She thought that when she saw in the beginning the elephant was coming towards her son, she thought that her son would be crushed to death under the feet of the elephant. She was feeling extreme pain in her heart, but elephant just crossed the boy but without harming the child. And so the child was also so happy to see the elephant, because he was not at all bothered about the size of the elephant. He was not at all bothered about the danger, and so he was so happy to see the elephant. He smiled at the elephant, he clapped at the elephant. So the mother finally took her son from the ground and turned to the noble heart of the elephant, who slowly walked away. What a wonderful poem! Beautiful poem with a beautiful story. All of you read all these lines very thoroughly and understand the poem and study very well. Thank you.